This is where, for 4 years, from 1865 to 1869, John Wilkes Booth was buried. But 4 other persons were buried here, too. They were co-conspirators, and that story unfolded in this building. So, Henry, this is where it all happened, right here. Wow. In this small room.
Federal troops shoot John Wilkes Booth at a Virginia farmhouse 12 days after he assassinated President Lincoln. But here at Fort McNair, in 1865, 7 men and 1 woman are tried as conspirators to Lincoln's murder. After 350 witnesses testified, over the course of 7 weeks, the entirety of Booth's plan became clear.
You keep talking about conspiracy. What was the conspiracy?
Well, John Wilkes Booth's original idea was to kidnap the president and to exchange him for ransom. I think some of the people who were sitting where you're sitting right now, Henry, that were sucked up into this plot, they signed on to kidnap the president, and they're stunned. They're sitting here for the murder of Abraham Lincoln. They didn't sign on for that.
What was the kidnapping supposed to achieve?
Keep the Civil War going. The South was going to lose. Time was running out. So the South proposed an exchange of prisoners. But General Grant said no, because he was not going to give back the Confederacy 200,000 Southern soldiers. So John Wilkes Booth says to his co-conspirators, this is what we'll do, we'll kidnap Lincoln.
So obviously, the president was not kidnapped. Were any attempts made?
Twice they planned the kidnapping of the president. In both cases, the president's plans change. The first one that failed, the irony is just stunning. Here's John Wilkes Booth and his conspirators waiting by the side of the road because Abraham Lincoln's going to attend a play. Instead, Lincoln changes his mind and he goes to the National Hotel. Well, the irony is that John Wilkes Booth was staying at the National Hotel. If he wasn't out on that road that night waiting for Lincoln to come by, Lincoln would have come right into his home.
And how do you escalate from kidnapping to murder? It's radical.
Booth saw that killing the president would be easier, including at the inauguration, where he carried a gun and was close enough to the president that he could have killed him and wrote about it in his diary. And somewhere in his theatrical mind, he compares this to the slaying of Caesar.
It was the end of the Civil War. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have just finished killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. It's like the sickest thing I can possibly imagine. The President of the United States is shot at close range. So much horror. And it all comes to an end in this room. These men and 1 woman were tried right here and executed right there and buried right there. It's incredible. I hate John Wilkes Booth's guts. It's such a